Hi BookTube, it's Friday, yay! My favorite day of the week. I'm sure all of you have the same favorite day, unless you work like a odd schedule, because the weekends they're just the best. My week was pretty good. The summer is definitely in full gear. It was well over 100 almost every single day, but tomorrow, Saturday, it's gonna be 89. So I'm glad to have that 8 in front in front of the number instead of a 10. So I'll take what I can get. But yeah, for my weekend plans, I'm probably just gonna have like a staycation of sorts. I don't really want to go out. I just want to stay in and read and maybe sit outside my patio in the morning when it's cool outside, which will be nice. But yeah, as far as my reading plans goes, I have big plans because every single book I'm planning to not read completely, of course, they're really big books, but make some good headway on they're big chunky books, and so you'll see what I mean when I go through them. The first one is The Prime Minister by Anthony Trollope, and this is for Steve Donahue's read-along. And this is the 5th book in the Palliser series. And he was mentioning how this was his favorite book of this series and how he first started Anthony Trollope's books through this one. So, and I definitely can see that. You don't have to have read the other 4 books in the series to understand this one. I mean, it does help because you get a lot of background information on the characters up to this point, but it's like a self-contained story, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm like 20% in, so that shows you I'm behind. I need to read some. He's breaking it down into 4 parts, so it's like around 20 chapters per week. But there's a fifth weekend in there, so I'm just gonna stretch it out over the whole course of the month, so it gives me a little bit more time. But yeah, I'm liking it, and I won't go too much into the story because I don't want to spoil it or anything. But the new character in this is Ferdinand Lopez, and he is seen as, I don't know, possibly a seedy character. Depends on who you talk to in the book, what their opinion of him is. But he is seeking the hand of a woman who the father doesn't like him because he's a foreigner. And so, but also, it doesn't matter how much money he has, he's just a foreigner. He wants her to have a good English husband. And so that's like the setup of the story so far. But the woman, the daughter, she admits that she loves this man, but she will listen to the father and go with what his wishes are. So that's where I'm at so far in the book. But yeah, I'm really liking it. Trollope is a really good writer. And the next book is one I finally got through the library. I put a hold on it at the end of last month, which I should put a hold sooner than that, because so I can get a better start on it. Because this is The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan. This is book 4, and I like this cover. I like the older editions. There's like a wagon, and there's a couple people standing over a fire. And this one is over 1,000 pages. So I know Robert Jordan. I think he initially planned to do like a trilogy, but then it went like crazy, and I think it was like 8 book series. I can't remember what originally it was. I didn't read them when they were published, but I know initially it was supposed to be a small series. But as time goes on in the series, his books already start. The first book I think is like 600 or so pages, and the next 2 are like maybe 700 or 800. But this one's like top over 1,000, 1,007. But so yeah, I think they progressively get bigger and bigger as the series goes on, which I do like an immersive fantasy read. But yeah, he definitely could have edited some. But yeah, I like spending time with these characters, and these are all a reread for me. And it's like one of the first fantasy series that I picked up as a kid. And this one, again, I don't want to give anything away because it's a 4th book in a series, but it starts off with a bang. Which is like, it's kind of why I say that, because I was looking at my Kindle. It shows you the time of how long it takes you to read each chapter, and the first chapter was like an hour and something, 20 minutes or something like that is what it was saying. So I mean, the chapters aren't like little snippets of characters. Each chapter, it's like each chapter contains multiple perspectives instead of breaking it down into multiple chapters. So I know some people can find that kind of slow because you're on one chapter for a good amount of time, but it's really acting as as multiple chapters in that one chapter, if that makes sense. But yeah, I really like the first 5 or 6. I can't remember because it all kind of runs in my head because it's a really long story. But the first 5 or 6 are like some of my favorites of this series, and then the last 3 or 4 are again my favorites. Just that from like between 8 and 10, I think, are the ones that are a little bit slower for me. But yeah, you probably don't care about that. We're on the 4th one now, and yeah, like I said, I just got it yesterday from the library, so I really need to make a jump start on this one, which won't be a horrible thing to do. I love this series. This next one is another chunky book. It's 592 pages, and it's Horizon by Barry Lopez, and this is an author I've been meaning to read for a while. This is a pretty cover. There's like a blue ocean, and then you have the blue sky with the horizon in between. And this is an author I've been meaning to read for a while. He's a nature writer, and he's won, I think, some National Book Award and all sorts of awards. And he's known for his nature writing. And this one is kind of like I said, I've been meaning to read the other ones for a while, but this one just came out in March of this year. And so I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and read this one first. And this is kind of a departure from his normal writing, from what I gather, because it also includes a lot of like autobiographical information. So in this book, Horizon, so far what I've read is it kind of like he takes his own life experiences from a very young age, and he talks about each location that he's gone to. And it starts off with how he was raised in New York, and so he gives a little background information like of the area, like the animals he encounters, and his life as a kid. And then he goes to Los Angeles and all the different communities he goes into. And I recognize some of them because I lived in Los Angeles for a bit, and so a lot of the names were very familiar to me, and I could like picture a lot of what he was talking about. Like, and he's like, I was bicycling to this place and this place. Oh yeah, I know exactly where you were. But yeah, and then he goes back to Manhattan. So yeah, it's like I'm getting snippets of the different locations along with his life journey so far. And yeah, it's an interesting book. I really like his writing, and I think I'm gonna highly enjoy this book. And then the last one is a departure from like the more chunky books, but it's still big. It's a romance book, or woman's fiction is what I would really categorize as. It's 477 pages, and this I'm reading for the Romance Book Bingo, and it's Mary Alice Monroe's The Beach House, with this really pretty cover. And as the title suggests, this really focuses on the beach house. It's Carette Rutledge. She comes back to South Carolina, Low Country, can kind of like reconnect with her mother and like reconnect with her roots. And in the process, she decides to put a lot of her energy into, I think, rebuilding or building this beach house. I think it's rebuilding it. And it's also, she's nicknamed the Turtle Lady, so I think she's going to encounter some sea turtles and maybe rehabilitate them as well. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this one is going to be, like, if I need a lighter read in between these, like, more dense books. Well, the Phoenix book isn't dense, but it's a long, drawn-out story. So if I need a break in between those, then I will read this one. So yeah, like I said, I have my work ahead of me with this weekend of reading really big books. It'll be a miracle if I can finish like even 2 of these over the course of tonight and Saturday and Sunday. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. I don't. That's not my expectation, but it'd be dandy if I could. So yeah, let me know what you're reading and if you've read any of these books, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, BookTube.